kickoff is chaotic, it creates these ripples of doubt and missed deadlines and budget overruns that can literally sink what could have been a great project. It just sets this tone of confusion that is almost impossible to recover from.
Does any of this look painfully familiar? That creeping dread when the project's scope just keeps growing and growing? Or that constant back and forth on revisions because nobody's really on the same page? This isn't just bad luck, you know. These are all symptoms, and the disease is a broken onboarding process. It's the source of so much stress and misery in the professional world.
But what if? What if you could prevent all of that? What if you had a system, a repeatable checklist to make sure every single project kicks off with total alignment and focus? Well, that is exactly what we're about to go through.
It's called the Clear Onboarding Framework, and you can think of it as the perfect antidote to all that project chaos. It's a super-structured 5-part system, and it's all about building a rock-solid foundation right from the moment you say go.
So the framework is built on 5 pillars that, you guessed it, spell out the word clear. We've got context, landscape, expectations, action plan, and review and reset. You know, it's kind of like building a house. You wouldn't just start throwing up walls, right? Each of these steps creates the foundation for the next one, and it systematically replaces guesswork with genuine clarity.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to break down each one of these 5 pillars so you can see exactly how this thing transforms a messy, chaotic kickoff into a powerful strategic launch pad for your project.
First up, C is for context. Now, before you write a single line of code or design a single pixel, you have got to understand the problem on a deep level. This isn't just about what the client is asking for. It's about digging underneath all of that to find out why they're asking for it. Seriously, if you get this part wrong, nothing else you do is going to matter.
Your goal here is basically to become a detective. You're asking the tough questions, like, what's the one problem that hurts the most right now? Or what does wild success actually look like in 90 days? But here's the real key. Your output has to be a 1-page context brief. This is where you turn a fuzzy goal like, oh, we want to increase brand awareness, into a concrete, measurable target. Like, let's achieve a 15% lift in organic search traffic within the next 90 days. See the difference?
Okay, so once you've nailed down the why, the next letter, L, helps you understand the where. L is for landscape. This is all about figuring out where your client actually sits in their market, and just as importantly, what resources they already have that you can work with.
And this is a 2-part audit. So externally, you're mapping out their competitors, you're looking at the market, and then internally, you're taking stock of their team, their roles, and any assets they already have, whether that's code, designs, or data. The end result is this really clear snapshot that shows you not just their weaknesses, but also their hidden strengths and opportunities you can leverage.
And now, for the big one. E is for expectations. I'm telling you, this is the step that acts as your insurance policy against all that future conflict, the miscommunication, and that dreaded scope creep. This is where so many projects just fall apart.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the level of detail you go into. You're not just defining what's in the scope of the project, you're explicitly writing down what is out of scope. You agree on how often you'll communicate, who has the final say on decisions, and exactly how the feedback process works. All of this goes into an engagement rules document that everyone signs, period. Ambiguity is just totally eliminated.
So with all that amazing groundwork laid, you are finally ready for A, the action plan. This is the fun part. This is where you translate all that rich insight and that, let's be honest, hard-won alignment into a tangible roadmap for actually getting stuff done.
And this is not just some massive, overwhelming to-do list. No, it's a prioritized 90-day plan. And check out this structure because it's brilliant. You start with foundational work in the first couple weeks to get some quick wins, then you move into core execution, and finally you shift to optimization. This builds momentum and sets you up for long-term success, all on a shared roadmap that everyone can see and track.
And finally, we have R for review and reset. Because, let's be real, a plan isn't carved in stone. It's more like a GPS. You have to be ready to recalculate the route when you hit a detour. The best plans are the ones that are designed to adapt based on what you learn along the way.
And that's exactly why you must set up a regular rhythm for checking in. Think about it. Weekly check-ins for small course corrections, and then maybe monthly reviews to zoom out and measure progress against those key metrics you set way back in the context phase. This constant feedback loop is what allows you to learn fast and stay on track to deliver real value.
So look, having the framework is one thing, and that's great, but the real magic happens when you turn this from a one-time thing you do into a standardized, reusable asset for your entire business.
And it's actually a pretty simple three-step recipe. First, you standardize. You create templates for everything: the briefs, the questionnaires, the action plans. Second, you productize it. Give your process a cool, marketable name. And third, you time-box it. You offer it as a fixed-price, fixed-timeline product with crystal-clear deliverables.
So instead of just vaguely calling it onboarding, you could sell something like the Startup Onboarding Sprint. See how that sounds? It's professional, it communicates a ton of value, and it transforms what feels like an administrative chore into a strategic service that clients are actually excited to pay for. And when you actually implement this system, I promise you, the change is profound. You're not just making a process a little bit better, you are fundamentally transforming the entire nature of your client relationships for the better.
I mean, just look at the difference here. This really says it all. You go from having these vague, fuzzy goals to having defined success metrics. You go from constant, stressful surprises to a clear, shared roadmap. Scope creep and client friction, they get replaced by signed-off milestones and this genuine shared confidence. This is how you go from being a reactive order taker to a proactive, strategic partner.
So the next time a new project lands on your desk, you've got a choice. You can dive headfirst into the chaos and just cross your fingers and hope for the best. Or you can start with absolute clarity. The real question is, how will you begin?